Good evening, everybody. I'm just coming on here to do another live. I just got through reading in the book of Joshua, and it was very profound in speaking to my situation. I'm just thankful how God has brought me through. He brought me through some tough things that a lot of people probably wouldn't have made it through. And He prepared me for these things, and He also let me know that I was equipped for these things, even when I didn't think I was. I was just remembering a time when I had left a relationship. And it wasn't only that relationship that I was hurting from. It was previous ones that I hadn't ever healed from, all the way back down into childhood. God, I remember breaking down, and because at that moment, I believe I just broke down. And I remember breaking down, and I was in the floor, and I was crying harder than I ever cried before. Because of me, I knew my capacity to love. I knew that, and I knew that if I ever loved like I knew I could, that it would hurt me. But the way that I was going in relationships, that's what I was projecting. And I would hook up to somebody that was feeling the same way a lot of times. And God showed me that, like, you keep on attracting who you are to you. I'm going in these relationships not even fully emotionally there, not even communicating a lot of times in these relationships. And it was all to protect my heart. And I didn't realize that a lot of times I didn't really talk to the man, didn't talk, which was, when I look back on it, it's crazy to me. So, because it was like I would get a muzzle and I would go into protection mode that thick, that deeply, and I didn't understand it. I would just go quiet. I would answer questions, but I couldn't fully be who I am in that relationship. So a lot of times I hurt myself. I hurt me. I expected them to do something that they weren't capable of doing a lot of times, and I wasn't capable myself of doing these things. I was just immature emotionally, shut down emotionally. Not narcissistic, but I was borderline, because I would go in and I would expect these relationships to fail. And what you expect to fail, you're not going to give it your all. So I never fully gave it my all, and God opened my eyes to that. And I remember breaking down like that, because I looked good on the outside, but on the inside, it was just a total mess. And that was what I didn't want no more. I can look good on the outside, but I want to look even better on the inside, so it can flourish on the outside. And that what God has been, He's been just healing my heart in ways that I never expected Him to do it, on levels that I never thought I needed help on, but because I did. Because a lot of it, I had abandonment issues from my dad leaving, not being there fully in my life, but I do forgive him for that. Because I believe if my dad had been in my life, I would have been a daddy's girl, no doubt. Because I remember when my mom said he would come around, I would be the only one that was happy to see him. It's because I genuinely was. I was happy to see him all the time. I don't care if he even really wanted to see me. I was happy to see him, and I believe that affected me a lot. And I went out in the wrong way in relationships, looking for that, but looking for somebody to love me, but still all the time protecting me, not even giving this person room to really know me. I was, because I was feeding you with a long handle spoon. I was only going to tell you so much. I was only going to reveal so much. And that going into something that is not anything that I want to do. And I thank God for freeing me from that. I thank him for helping me, giving me the courage, because I always been bold, but I just thank him for giving me the courage to even open my mouth and speak of these things. And it's like when God wants to show you things, you have to be really open to it. You have to put that mirror on yourself and look how have I been doing this? Why do I keep running into the same thing? The same thing, the same thing. And God showed me that. He was like, you did it too. Because even though the person hurt you, but you have to stand in accountability of the role you play, not dismissing what they have done to you. But you have to stand in accountability of the role that you played in that relationship. Okay, what was your role? What did I do? What could I have done better in that relationship? I've always had boundaries. You couldn't get over on me a lot of times because my mama talked, I listened to my mama, and a lot of that was rooted into me, and I didn't let a lot of people come in and take advantage of me. But like they say, we all play the fool. But that was the last time that I was willing to play the fool, because I was hurt. On a level that well, yes, I did. I knew it, but you can never prepare for it. But I stand here today. I stand here happy. I stand here healed. My heart is healed. I feel better than I ever felt in life because I'm able to open up. I'm able to talk. I'm able to use my voice and my words. Use my voice and my words, and it's just a me that I always kept to myself, but because I wanted to protect myself, because I know my capacity to love is big. It's big, and I know I do understand that boundaries are always in order. And just by me saying that, I want companion, because even going through all that heartbreak and all them disappointments, that never kill the love that I do want to experience one day. But I have boundaries in place. I don't want to bleed on another man that comes in to do good in my life. But my spiritual eyes are open. I see more than I say. And I'll give anybody the benefit of the doubt. But once you show me who you are, I'm going to believe that what you showing me is exactly who you are. Because a lot of times we can say stuff, but our actions say something else. Like, a lot of times you can say, I want freedom. I want freedom, but your actions is showing bondage. And you're not aware of that if you're not connecting to God. Like, you still tied up in the mind, but you saying you want freedom, and you doing the same stuff that you was doing to keep you in bondage. So you have to let God in, and you have to let him in and undo some things that you have put onto yourself. You have latched on to, like I said, false identity. Yes, I'm quiet, but I am a fun person. I love to laugh. I'm me. And I ain't gonna say too much, but I'm me. And I'm a nice person. I'm an easygoing person. I don't ask for much in a relationship. I don't. I ask for what's necessary. I ask for everything that a real woman would want in a real man. And that's what I stand on now more than ever. Because I desire to get married. I do. And it used to bother me sometimes that I was constantly running into the same. I'm like, this is the same thing somebody else did. This is the same thing. And I'm like, Lord, and I remember my world, it was almost like it stopped. I said, what am I doing? For the first time, I was able to put that mirror on me. What am I doing? Because I am the common denominator in this situation. What am I doing? What am I continuing to do in these relationships? And God began to reveal to me. I got off social media. I got off everything. And I was listening to God. I was talking to him because my heart was hurting. And sometimes, some days, I thought I was going to never stop crying. And that was how you going to heal me? I'm feeling all this overwhelming hurt. How are you going to heal me, God? I need you. And sometimes I just wanted it to stop. Sometimes I cried until the tears I remember crying big crocodile tears. And I cried until I was wailing, I was whimpering. Even the crying look had disappeared off my face, but that grief, but I know there was everything that was coming up that needed to come up, because I want to be able to treat another man. I want to be able to treat a man right, the way he deserves, a fully healed man that know what he wants in life. I'm not for the games. It don't even come, because I'm going to see it. I'm connected to God. And he shows me everything. So I'm going to see. I'm going to see what it's about. And I'm not into that. I'm a one. I don't need 10 boyfriends. Even though I could easily have a man here, a man here, a man here. But that's not who I am. That's not who my mom raised me to be. I could have a plethora of boyfriends, but that's not what I want. I desire companion. I desire true companion. I desire to have fun with you. I don't see nobody else if it's me and you. And that's what I want. And I just appreciate God for healing me on a level that he has healed me on. And that me going through that and God showing me these miraculous things in the spirit, it's a lot of stuff I can't explain with my mouth that me and God went through on a journey in my apartment. I said the next person that move in here, I pray that they are blessed, because God blessed me even though things were going on with me in that apartment, but my focus is and always have been on him, because he told me. It's some things that he done for me that I can't deny. God has built a track record with me, and my faith is on 1,000,000. And I appreciate God. I appreciate him because he healed my heart. He healed my heart. A lot of heartbreak, all that hurt and stuff was hid under pretty. You look good, so that ain't nobody got to know that you right, but no, you not. Nope, no, you are not. If you ain't good on the inside, you ain't good on the outside. I don't care how good you look. A lot of times you mean and you lashing out and stuff, and it's all coming from a place of pain. The way you lashing out at somebody ain't got nothing to do with them. It's all coming from a place of pain, and I wanted that pain healed. And God he is yet working on me. He is yet working on me, and I'm so grateful that he kept my mind, because not only am I going through that, I got people throwing things at me spiritually that God even revealed to me with that. So I just thank him for keeping my mind. I just thank him for keeping me sane, because these people tried to come and like they was going to take me from me. They tried to come and play God in my life. And I'm baffled at that, because who do you think you are? How could you? And I remember immediately talking to God like, okay, God, now what do I do? What do I do? Because I wanted to get physical, but God was like, that's not the way you fight this kind. This kind you fight in prayer. And I remember God even preparing me before I seen faces. I seen them in my dreams only. I remember I went into prayer, And I was fasting, and God showed me things. He showed me people. I remember I was in the dream. I was coming down the steps. I had a lot of stuff in my hand, and I was coming around down the steps, and these women, they were sitting closely knitted together, and they were just calling me things. They were calling me everything, saying everything about me, like they was trying to block my way, but even while I had this stuff in my hand, nothing that they said really mattered, because in my hand I had held up my hand. I had my stuff in my hand, because it was, even though they was trying to block me, it was a path that I seen that I could get through, and I remember moving through them and getting to where I needed to go. God showed me this, and a lot of times I don't understand, because a lot of these people don't know me. They don't know me. These people lied on me. Lies. And I remember I was having dreams about this, even in the ear of the person that I was talking to. And I've had that to happen to me before, so I knew it. And I was like, no. But as things would go on, it started to unfold. And I remember I said, they in his ear. Somebody is saying something to him about me. He revealed it to me. Even when I was not even connected to him the way I was, he was still showing me things. He never failed to show me what was going on in my life. And these people came toward me. I'm telling my son even moved in the apartments that I was in. They was that determined to bring me down. But I remember I was dropping my son off at school. And I was at a red light, and I immediately went into a vision. God showed me a storm, the way that I was going. And the other side, he showed me bright. It was sunshine. It was beautiful. But on down, it was a storm. And he was like, you can go through this now, and you can go through this later. And I remember I said, I said, well, I'm finna turn over into this storm. And I remember riding down the street, and I saw a lady tags. It said 5417 on the back of that woman's tags. And I was like, what does that mean? Because my attention was caught to that. And I remember reading Isaiah 54:17. He said, no weapon of any kind that was formed against me was going to prosper. He told me to go through this for his glory. I had never done nothing. After I separated from that man, my focus was on healing, because I was hurting too bad. I was hurting bad, and I just thank God for my son, because he would do the smallest, simplest things. Like he would hear me in my room crying. He would hear me crying. But he would come in, he would peek in and see me laying in the bed, and I've been and went to sleep, and I could feel him. He just pulled the covers over me. And I saw that he didn't like to see me cry. And I understood the way he dealt with it. He was like, Mom, I heard you crying. But he would come in there, and he would, even at night sometimes when I was having a tough time, he would come in there, we would watch the YouTube, the army fail, or whatever that was. And I would be laughing because it was funny and it was hilarious. He came in my room, and we would do that on a nightly basis. He said, you know what? I said, why you start coming in here showing me this? He said, because I just like to hear you laugh. I want to hear you laugh. And I would be laughing because it was hilarious to me. And God was using him to cheer me up. God was using him. I remember it was just a icky time, but those times, and I love my son so, and those times really got me through. Those times really, and I look forward to doing it, and we would do that on a nightly basis. And I would go to sleep, and I was so glad that I was able to go to sleep and have me a good laugh with before I go to sleep. And I remember, too, a lot of times I would release these people. Even when I was mad, when I said, God, that is not fair. I went on with my life. I released him like you told me to. So what is happening now? I'm just starting to feel my feet on the ground. I'm starting to heal. And you tell me here comes something else? And I was like, how I'm gonna deal with this? And he would just remind, no weapon that was formed against me was gonna prosper. But I remember how they said, you pray and ask God for things, he gonna give you a opposition. It's great. And he gave me that opposition, and he reminded me that it's some things that I asked for, that he is gonna test me, see where my heart is, see where my motives is. And I do, and on a regular basis, I ask God, test my motives, know my heart, because I want a clean heart before him. I don't bother people, but I get the assignment. I know the assignment on my life. I know what's required of me. No, I don't bother people, but people came to bother me. They came and found me in my little world, and they came to bother me. But God has kept me. His hand is on me. I am happier than I ever been because God is with me. I am at peace. Not because people not doing things to me still. It's because he said the peace that surpasses all understanding. You will have it if you keep your mind stayed on me. I have peace. I love my job. I work with children, and I love those children. I love my job. I love life. And I love where I'm headed. And I thank God more than I can tell him with my mouth, more than I can say with my lips. I thank him, and I have fallen madly in love with God. I have put God on the throne of my heart where he belonged in the first place, not trying to find him in some imperfect human. I gave it back to the one that created it. And if you don't do nothing else in your life, my sincerest prayer is that you get a relationship with God. I'm not talking about church. I'm not talking about going to church. I'm not talking about getting religious. You got to invite him in. I remember I was listening to TDJ. He said, you got to invite him in, even in the darkest part. And I was hurt. And I said, Lord, I invite you into the darkest part. Whatever it is that don't nobody know about but me and you, I invite you in. I want you to see me. I want you to know me. I want you to know my heart. I want you to know what's in there. So whatever is in that is not like you, pull it out. To God be the glory. And I thank him. I thank God for saving me. I thank him for setting me free. Thank you for listening.